Hello, beautiful and awakened souls. Welcome to another episode of To the Awakened Souls podcast. I'm your host, Devin Brown, Kundalini activator, spiritual guide, mentor, and like always, hopefully just a great source of entertainment for you. So to start, I'm just going to let you guys know, I talked about it last week. My Kundalini Rising Activation Program will be launching November 1st. I am so excited about this program. This program is specifically meant for those of you who know that you are a starseed or feel like you might be. It is a way to remember who you were as your soul self before you came into this body. And part of this journey and part of this remembrance is allowing ourselves to feel and to forgive and to release those things that we allowed to come into our lives in order to give us the experiences that we need to activate, give us the correct put us on our purpose, on our plan, and put us on our path. So right now we're actually going to go and use this episode as a way to talk about what this energetic healing program is. So it's 12 activations. I do recommend that everyone does only one a month because with these activations, I do have homework assignments with you guys to go for. Now, some people are ready to quantum leap and they're ready to move forward and just jump from one to another every other week. Some people are going to be ready to do one or two every couple months and they feel like they need more time. This is a program that really you can take and ebb and flow with it how you need to ebb and flow. So it is like I said, 12 activations. With each activation comes a guidebook like a PDF guidebook that you're going to work with, and you're going to have homework assignments for the month. And by the end of this, you're going to have developed your own spiritual practice, a daily spiritual practice that is going to bring you into alignment of who your soul self was meant to be. So we're going to go ahead and talk about what these different activations are for and what these different activations are meant to do for this 12-month program. So the first one we're going to talk about is the energetic chakra activation and soul acceptance activation. This is the first one, or I'm going to say month 1, month 2, month 3. Keep in mind, you are able to do these quicker than a month if it is what you want. You don't have to space them out. I highly recommend it if you're at the very beginning of this, you haven't had your dark night of the soul yet, or maybe you've already gone through it. If you've gone through your dark night of the soul, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you obviously have not been through it yet. You know when you reach your dark night of the soul. That's a whole nother episode. But month 1 or activation 1 is actually soul acceptance. This month specifically is going to help you to not only realize, but accept that you are more than just human, that you are a soul entity living in a human body for a human experience. It's going to allow you to experience the vibrations of energy that aren't from this realm. And we're going to pull those energies back into your body, back into who you were. This is a guided hypnosis, a guided activation. You just get to sit there and receive. If you fall asleep to it, the work is still being done. This is all things that I went into the astral, put together, recorded myself as I'm doing actual 9D energy work into these recordings. And it's just going to be a time for you to reflect and be peaceful. And this is going to also create an experience that will begin to trigger you to begin to remember who you were. Now, every single activation has a possibility for side effects, so to speak, or for withdrawal or hangover effects, so to speak. Now, I have gotten very, very good over time. I used to be one of those energy workers where I'm like, oh, that doesn't belong. That doesn't belong. That doesn't belong. And I just started pulling things out of people. And sometimes I needed to do that 100%. Sometimes that was a necessity. But I've learned that when you are ready to do the work and to heal, that's when it's best to take that stuff out. And so I will simply be using these activations, and everything was put together in a way that it will be completely gentle. So while you might have some detox symptoms, it's more your ego igniting into the beginning of your dark night of the soul, or it's more your ego showing you where you still need to work. Some of the challenges might be, can I trust myself? Like, am I really something different? Was I making it up? How is this possible? Like, because you're going to begin to feel vibrations and feel things and have your body respond in a visceral way that you are not used to responding to, especially if you are someone who comes from a place where you don't feel safe if you're not in control. So this is one I highly, highly, like I said, recommend you do all of them like spaced out. But this is one I would definitely say take at least 2 weeks with and listen to it at least 4 times before you go on to activation 2. Activation 2 or month 2 is actually a cleanse and release activation. This activation, we go chakra by chakra and we clean out old wounds, and where our daily spiritual practice is going to begin to help us recognize patterns that are there that maybe we weren't aware were blocking us on an energetic level. Kind of the mental health aspect / detox things that you might see is giving name to those things that you feel dirty or ashamed of, those things that really don't hold a place in your life anymore, and those places that really it's time to let go of. It's a little bit gentler than activation 1 only if you've never been activated before. If you've been activated before and have experienced any type of 5D to 9D energy, in other words, if you've ever had a spiritual visceral experience that allows you to be pulled into this whole other energetic field, then you are going to be okay. Like, you're going to be able to move forward into go pretty easily up until activation 6. So activation 3 is actually, oh my gosh, I had so much fun with this one, you guys. This was the higher self connectivity. I actually take you into the astral. And this was really interesting, especially because as I'm recording this, I'm connecting with so many different souls at the same time. And you can actually hear my voice hitch occasionally, like while I'm working with you guys, because I'm connecting you to your highest self on a different realm and in a different level. And I have to tell you, like, I was so fucking buzzed up with energy after. I still, like, I haven't even recorded any others. It's been a week and this program is supposed to be done like by the 1st, but I've been working on the PDF and like the diaries and all that stuff. Like, for me, the activations are where I want to make sure there's no other distraction. But after I had recorded this one, I had to wait before I could record anything else because I felt so like high on energy. So that being said, this is where you are going to be connected to your highest self. I literally walk you through the astral and your highest self comes and meets you where you are. And then you are going to psychically link to your highest self, and you are going to be able to hear your highest self begin to speak to you. And then that inner voice, that inner dialogue is actually going to remain with you as long as you continue your spiritual practice, as long as you treat your body like the temple, and as long as you continue to do the work inside. Your highest self connectivity on the psychic level will continue to move forward and continue to now be an open, clairaudient side of one of your guides. And it's a beautiful thing. Now with this, it's letting go of the conditioning that what everybody else told you is okay is not okay. And like the whole, like, am I crazy? Like, why are these thoughts? Like, this can't be, like a lot of like, this can't be real type situation can still possibly come up. So this other one was the next one, activation 4, was a little bit more of a deep cleansing healing for you guys. I tried to be as gentle as possible when I put this activation together. But this is the one that probably will hurt the most, but it sets you up for success. This is where we go through chakra by chakra, and instead of just recognizing patterns and things like that, we are actually going to untie and release generational life healing, release traumas. We're going to release soul ties that no longer connect you and no longer serve you at the highest self. We're releasing these things that genuinely just do not serve you for the purpose of why you are here for your soul mission. Now, the thing with this, you're going to notice your relationships begin to change. You're going to notice that there are situations and circumstances where you are no longer able to be in that same friend group that you were in because it just no longer makes sense. It no longer connects. It no longer feels right to you anymore. And that is one thing to just be patient with yourself. Let yourself feel, But I want you to also understand it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to not know how you're going to move forward in this part. It's a matter of truly trusting yourself, because now you are connected to your highest self, hence activation 3, and you are able to walk yourself with your guides through this, and your soul family, the people that are meant to come with you at this time, are going to come in together. And so then activation 5 is actually preparing you for your ego death in this current life. It's conditioning patterns, like breaking those, and it's going in with the soul tie cord cutting energetic releases that we did last month, but it's on a deeper level. We're actually going to go into your sacral chakra, and we're going to be focusing there, into your root chakra, into who the I am is, into the I was is, like. And for those of you who feel like I just spoke Spanish, let me go ahead and try and explain that a little bit. So the who I am is a very, I am love, I am peace, I am joy, I am safe, I am happy, I am successful. Those are all very, very rooted root chakra affirmations. When you say I ams, you are rooting yourself in a new truth and a new identity. And I love how as soon as I said that, I literally felt my feet just ignite with energy and shoot into the ground. Like, we are literally just rooting ourselves deeply and pushing ourselves deeply into who we are and into where we want to go. So that being said, as the I am statements, there is also the I was. The sacral is where we have our past life doorways and entryways held. This is where, when we go to the very, very bottom, I think I need to try and give you guys a visual. So when I do energy work with people and I'm one-on-one, I go to their sacral chakras and I literally see a staircase, and the staircase spirals down, spirals down, spirals down. And as I walk with them and we go through into their past lives, each staircase has like this little, I guess you could call it like an alcove type ledge. Like, it's got this little thing there where it leads to one of the past lives. So as we're going down, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down, like, we are able to move ourselves into a place of healing past life and past wound traumas by simply being our highest self and being the high energy and walking and releasing and letting those traumas no longer serve us. So with this, though, you might sense fear, you might sense regret, grief, anger. It's kind of a big ball of intense emotions that as we release these ties one by one from your past lives, but you're going to see a physical shift, like I said, in relationships, that some of them are a mirror image of what you've dealt with in past lives. Some of them are a mirror image of what you've dealt with or haven't dealt with your inner child healing that needs to take place. And, this is like a very big and important step as you move forward, because the very, very bottom of the stairwell, so to speak, or the spiraling staircase, is everyone's source well. This is the well that's there that holds your full activation to source, your full activation to your gifts, your full activation to who you are. And I've done work with people where they have locked themselves away from their power. They have locked themselves away from who they were because they were afraid or didn't feel like they deserved it. There's also times where I have seen people who, while the source was there and it was open, they just didn't know how to access it. They could put their hands in it, but they couldn't flow it into themselves. So month 6, activation 6, is actually our Kundalini activation and awakening. This is like what the whole program is about. This is what the past 6 activations or 6 months we're building you up for. We are going to go into that sacral and we are going to open your well, open this beautiful activation, and allow your matrix conditioned views of truth to just go. And we're going to allow you to come online, so to speak. And this is not going to be like, oh, suddenly I have all these magical gifts. That's not what this activation is. This is simply opening your well and getting yourself to a point where that energy of source is now welcome into each part of your body. It's welcome into your soul. It's welcome into your mind. It's welcome into your movement. It's welcome into the way you speak. It's welcome into your thoughts. It's welcome into a way that brings you tranquility, that brings you peace, that brings you understanding, and that brings you life, so to speak. All that said, going forward, we end up, I'm going to say probably some people are going to need a pause on this one and take a little bit of time, especially if you have struggled with the activations above. If you have struggled to truly release the things that are holding you back, to release those things that aren't serving you, to truly just be okay being you. If you are struggling with that, then yeah, you're probably going to want to take a few minutes and take a little bit of time on this one and just truly allow that source to flow through you until you get comfortable enough to be happy that it's there. Because month 7 is actually activating our spiritual gifts. This activation is meant to not only activate your spiritual gifts, but allow you to explore them. We're going to begin moving you into this momentum of changing you into a crystalline light body, which is a higher vibration of regular human DNA. It is a source DNA. It is oh gosh, how can I describe it? Have you ever seen somebody walking down the street and you can tell that they just glow? They just glow. They have a beautiful energy. They feel peaceful. They feel safe. And you look at them and they just radiate light. Those people are walking around activated in their crystalline light body. Those people are walking around fully secure in who they are. Those people are walking around fully knowing who they are. And they are understanding that they are enough as they are, even if they are not perfect. And that's what this activation is. It's getting you comfortable with the higher vibration as we've accepted source in, we've activated, we've opened our well. Well, this is about pulling source into every single one of your chakras and finding access to seeing things in other dimension, hearing our guides, astral projection, all of this stuff. We're going to do a little bit of everything. And it's only going to be like 2 minutes for each of the gifts that this is going to focus on. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you an opportunity to kind of figure out what your gifts are and to activate those spiritual gifts. And that moves us into month 8, which is self-acceptance, because guess what? We have to accept the new us. We have to accept that our life is so different than it was 8 months ago or 8 activations ago. We've begun doing the spiritual work. We've begun letting go of those things that don't serve us. We've begun pouring into ourselves. And so with that, this meditation and activation is going to be for those of you who have woke up and are different and you don't want to go back, but you also feel like you've lost so much or you're afraid of losing so much, so you haven't quite taken that step yet. It's to learn to love yourself as you are right now. Imperfect, but doing the work to become your best self. None of us are ever going to be perfect. I'm a starseed. I know that I am like a daughter of a star mother. Like I know who I am on a spiritual level. I know the power that I have. I know the power that I can create and the life that I can create around people. Like I know that. And with that being said, I also understand that it is not easy. I am not perfect. I make mistakes. I fail sometimes, but that is part of the human experience. That is part of why we are here, to show people that it is okay not to be perfect. We can still make a difference in our own lives simply by accepting ourselves and loving ourselves. And part of this is not being afraid to voice your truth, not being afraid to voice your different beliefs, not being afraid to be called crazy, not being afraid to be called misunderstood. And with that, then I think it's time for you guys to have a break. We're going to go into activation 9, which is a refill and a reset. This month is all about resetting and refilling, because healing is not easy. It's not easy at all. And a lot of what has been done in this last month has just been an entire detoxification process. It has been an entire, you guys have been through a lot. So this is literally one it would be perfect for you to fall asleep to. You can just put it on, and I am just going to flood you with love and light, peace and calm. Regulate your nervous system, regulate your mind, slow down anxiety, get rid of depression. Like that is the focus and the movement of this. Then month 10, activation 10, are focusing fully on the throat chakra for self-expression and just opening that, because you need to be willing to speak that of who you are and where you came from. You need to be willing, even if it's just to yourself out loud. No one can silence your voice and especially not through conditioning, fear, or religious upbringing or expectations. Like this is a matter of learning to embrace your truth and to really step outside of what everybody else felt that you were. So this is a matter of letting your throat chakra be opened. And if you begin to notice, I want you to take very close notice with your relationships at this point, the people that you are coming into contact with in this point in time, the people that you are seeing at this point in time. If you feel like your throat chakra is being closed when you are with them, those are no longer your people. If you feel like you can't voice your truth or voice your beliefs, those are no longer your people. I'm not saying that we all have to believe the same thing. I'm not saying that we all have to be on the same page. I'm not saying you have to have the same religious beliefs as your family, your friends, your partner, your spouse, whoever it is. But what I am saying is you have to be in a safe space to be able to be the bright light of which you are. With that, we're going to do activation 11, which is a release of fear. Letting go as you're on the spiritual journey of the unknown, letting go of the inner child wounds that you know are still there, that you thought you got rid of and kicked to the curb, but suddenly, hey, it's back. This is all about releasing fear for your spiritual journey and your physical life and allowing you to make the changes that you need to be in alignment with who you want to be. And this is going to just focus on calming your anxiety, releasing tension, and just gaining a sense of clarity for what you need. And then month 12 is all about owning your name. This meditation, I take you back into the astral, but we are actually going to go to the Akashic records. Now, if you have not been fully doing the work, and I'm being very serious, this is from the guides, they are not going to let you in. If you're like, oh, I'm just going to skip to month 12 and I'm going to do this. Oh, I have been doing the work. I've done every activation, but I'm really not doing the work because I'm just kind of surfacing it or like pretending to do the work. They're not going to let you in. Just saying. The Akashic Records is really reserved for those who are ready to see and to hear and to feel who they are. So with that, though, if you find you are not able to enter, you're going to end up being stay outside of the records in the astral, and your guides are going to come out to you. The guides that you're actually going to be able to connect with at that point in time are going to come out, but you may not be able to go into the Akashic library. So that being said, what is the Akashic records? This is where it's an entire records keeping of all the lives that you've lived. And this isn't just on earth. This is other spiritual places, your family histories, your soul family histories, your contracts, the things that you wrote up. It's a place where you can come and not only look at your past lives, but you can also come and just have understanding, have wisdom, and just move forward in all of that stuff. And examine the things, like examine the I'm trying to think of the word, the contracts and the soul ties that are no longer serving you. For those of you who are interested, if you go down to Remembering a Fae, or I can't remember what episode it is, but it's probably about 12-15 episodes ago, I have like an episode about a therapist who I worked with, who we went and did an Akashic Records thing. And while we were there, we literally met a fairy goddess that came out, and we got memories back of her being a fae before she came here down to earth and being like royalty essentially. And it was the most beautiful experience, but I give very detailed records of like what I saw as we were in the Akashic Records, and that might kind of be a good example for you. That was like a 45-minute episode. I'm not going to go into that here, but you will get on this. You're going to be able to meet your guides, and you are going to discover who you are. The whole point of this is owning your name, knowing who you are, knowing why you're here, knowing like what you are, whether that is a fae or a dragon or a goddess or a demigod or whatever it is, and whoever you are, this is where you get to find out. This is where you get to be. And with that, all of these activations are just going to bring you to a place of peace, bring you to a place of safety, bring you to a place of just complete remembrance for yourself. So that being said, how do we do this? How does this work? Well, I'm going to be offering this program in two ways. One way is for the people who just want to read the PDFs, do the work themselves, want to just dive in as fast as they can and move forward. And so you are able to purchase this outright from me for $333. That will give you a Google Drive or a link that will have all the activations in there, along with the PDF that you then have to print out yourself and like work for. The other option is going to be a monthly option. This is where we work step by step for 12 months, and we release every month not only an activation, but also the the PDFs and everything. But we're also going to do energy updates. We're going to do a Monday. You get full access to the Quantum Circle, which is every Monday you get a tarot card reading and an energy focus for the week. You get on the 12th or 21st of the month a big energy update for what's coming, things are looking like astrologically, which admittedly I am not an astrologer. I'm not somebody who studies the stars. I actually go to select people for that and then share their wisdom with you. I have some things that my guides tell me, not always. We do a little bit of channeling, and then the last day of the month you get an extra meditative activation to help you dance with the energies, especially with so many planets going into retrograde or moving and all of this stuff. Like, we have got to learn to just dance with the energies, and that's one thing I actually admire myself now. Like, I don't get triggered by anything when it comes to the skies and the heavens anymore. Like, I used to be so triggered by that. The only thing I get now is, especially if we get a solar flare or a big energy hit, I will wake up in the middle of the night, but I'm able to get myself right back to sleep for the most part. Like, and I'll wake up wide awake, or I have, I'm just very, very tired and I need a little extra rest. Otherwise, like, energetically, I'm pretty good. But that being said, I'm sorry, sidelined. I got distracted. So this program will be $111 a month. So you get not only extra access and extra help and extra support by me, you get full access to the Quantum Circle. Like, we'll do like a live call once a month, or even a live video where if you're able to join, you can come and chat. That'll either be Patreon is kind of working this out. Like, they're trying to make it where you can go live, but you have to meet certain criteria. So I have to have so many members in this group in order to do what I need to do for that. But we will figure out a way to do like Q&As, whether you email and then I do an episode on it and post it on the Patreon site, whatever it is. Like, I will make sure that I am walking with you guys through this. That is the big activation circle that we got going on, which is the Kundalini activation program where you do it monthly. So again, there's the two different ways to do it. My book is also going to be launching. That gives you all the information you need to do this work and to do the activations without actually having the energetic activations with you side by side. This book is my own personal story on how I went from a very conditioned and programmed background into self-acceptance, into self-love, and into a place of just self-exploration and self-remembrance and self-peace. And I will say it again, not perfect, make a lot of mistakes, but it's a matter of I love myself as I go through them. And this is a book that will help you get to that point too. That being said, I think that is everything. If you guys have specific questions, I would love to hear. Leave it in the comments. Also, if you like this podcast, like it, review it, share it. Help us just like grow a little bit. When I say us, I'm always referring to myself and my highest self and the listeners here. If you would like to support this podcast, you can do so on my Patreon site. I also will have the link there in the bio in this little section, and it is going to share with you how to not only support the podcast, but also just be able to know where it is you're going and what it is you're meant to do when we begin and launch November 1st for this Kundalini activation program. So as always, I hope everybody has a wonderful Monday. It's a great start to the week. I know some retrogrades have been taking place. Just know you are going to learn to dance with the energies, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. And I'm excited for y'all. Okay.